Now, welcome back to Prospect Hub. I'm going to talk about a non-roster invitee by the Mets. It's Kevin Parada, and obviously there's a lot of stuff going on with him. He is on the cusp of basically being forgotten about as a player, but the Mets have him on in camp, spring training camp. Let's get into it. But before we get into it, please, of course, subscribe to Prospect Hut and like this video. This is from Mesmerized. They highlight all these different players that were non-invited guys that aren't on the 40-man roster. Ken Parada is one of 4 catchers in spring training as non-roster invitees. The Mets right now only have 2 catchers on the 40-man roster, which is, of course, Francisco Alvarez, Luis Torrens. So for all 4 NRI catchers, Parada, Jackson Reitz, Hayden Sanger, which we've seen a little bit of him. He's got a good arm, the big guy. Not much of a bat, but we've seen him a little bit. And he's considered the Mets' best prospect in terms of defensively in the minor leagues. And Chris Williams. There was a lot of opportunity this spring. But this is about Parada. Before the 2023 season, Parada was one of the key prospects in the Mets system. He was ranked as a top 100 prospect in baseball by Baseball America, number 50, MLB.com, number 36, and Baseball Prospectus. This made sense. Right after getting drafted by the Mets in 2022, he went on to hit 275, 455 on base, pretty good, 425 slugging percentage for 880 OPS over 60 games. I mean, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. The last couple of seasons, though, things haven't been as good for him. Over 3 levels in 23, he hit 248 with a 328 slugging percentage, on base percentage, 428 slugging percentage for 751 OPS over 3 levels. But a paltry 185, 250, 383, 639 OPS in 14 games with Binghamton. Last season was even worse. Hitting 214, this is when he went to double A, stayed in double A. Hit 214, 304, 359 on slugging percentage, 663 OPS in a full season with Binghamton. Big problems. This is bad. While Kevin Parada was struggling, the farm system around him changed. Francisco Alvarez to the majors and looks like a catcher of the Mets' future for the Mets. The Mets system also gained Diverson Gutierrez, Ronald Hernandez, and Giovanni Rodriguez. Giovanni Rodriguez was a player they signed last year. He was considered the best catcher in the international class. All while Parada hasn't hit and turned in extremely poor defense at the catching position. He's had, wait for this. This is unbelievable. In 232 games that he has caught, he has given up 226 stolen bases. Let me read you this again, how they wrote it. 226 steals against him while catching in 232 games. That's a steal per game. Unreal. He's caught just 57 runners at a 19.7 caught stealing percentage. But Parada is giving up a stolen base every game. Holy shit, it's a lot. Parada has an advantage here, though, as he should be separated by at least 1 minor league level from the aforementioned names, giving him a critical 2025 season. This spring, he's competing against Hayden Sanger, who has been in the Mets system since 2018, and Chris Williams, who was in the Twins system since 2019 and never made the majors. Plus, there's Jackson Reitz, who has major league experience. It's cliche that the players come to the camp in the best shape of their lives, but Ken Parada made some major changes over the offseason, leading to him dropping 15 pounds. I mean, this is a situation that he needs to really improve. A couple of things he needs to do. Getting on base every game he has a chance to play in. Let's have an obvious depth chart after Torrens and Parada can hit his way up the charts. Who is he catching when he is catching? Does he outlast the other 3 catchers if he competing against? Can he throw anyone out on the base paths? That's what Mesmerized says that he should do during the spring training. Do the Mets play Parada everywhere but catch? Now, he's played first, but if he's not giving you any kind of offense, and this is not a lot of offense here. Let me read you again. He had 215 last year. I mean, if he's not giving you any kind of numbers of note, if he's not giving you on base percentage, I mean, 304 on base percentage is pathetic. .359 slugging percentage. That is a complete total drop from 2 years ago. So from 2022 to 2024, a complete total collapse as a player and as a prospect. He was the number 1 pick of the, he was the number 2 pick, 14th overall by Billy Epler. Those drafts by Billy Epler in 22 and 23, and some of the players that he's picked up in those trades, for Max Scherzer, Acuna has done well, but for Justin Verlander, some of the players that he's picked up over the last 2 years have not gotten better, and guys have had injuries. So you've seen players that were picked up during those 2 years, and these guys have sort of been spinning their wheels. Parada is not only spinning his wheels, but he's going backwards. This is the year that he has to take a step forward, because there was so much hype for him when the Mets signed him. Now, a couple of things about him prior to the draft. I do follow the draft, and especially being a Met fan, they follow it. Kevin Parada was considered a top 5 prospect in Major League Baseball coming out of the 22 draft. He thought, and the thought was that he was going to get picked up within the top 5, within the top 10. He didn't get picked up till 14. So he was dropping in these draft rooms by Major League Baseball. So he has to, at this point in his career, has got to make a major improvement this year, not only offensively, but defensively. He's got to start throwing runners out. He's got to start doing a better job with throwing runners out, and doing a better job of catching the ball and being able to handle pitching staff. He has been spinning his wheels, and his offense has got to explode. He's got to take a major step forward offensively, because even if he spins his wheels behind the plate, he is a guy that's considered a good hitter. He's got to be able to learn another position. He's got to learn how to play first base in some kind of capacity, or he's going to be a bust as a player. Now, he's a college player, so I expect that he's probably, 25 years old now? So if this is his year. If it doesn't happen now, it's not going to happen. So he's got to do a good job. We'll see where the Mets place him. Hitting .214 last year in Binghamton. I don't know if he's going to be getting a promotion to AAA. But he's got to play well. He's got to do a good job. If he doesn't, the Mets aren't going to move on. Because this is not a player the Mets drafted. This is not a player that David Stearns drafted. So he has a lot of work ahead of him if he's going to be able to do what was expected of him. This is a guy that was considered a leader. But from what I understand, how he's been in the minor leagues for the Mets, he's been something of a headache. Okay? And he has not been listening to what he's being taught by coaches. So that is a major problem, folks. Okay, I'm being very honest with you. That you cannot have a player that is a top pick, a guy that you having a lot of stuff going on here. You can't have him basically being a jerk. I'm not saying he's being a jerk, but that he's being very difficult towards the coaches. So keep that in mind. That's a rumor that I've heard. I like to get things out to you if I can, if people tell me stuff. So you let me know what you think about this video. And of course, please subscribe to the Prospect Hut, and I'll see you later.